In the middle of the vast ocean, where the waves never stop, a silent war is going on every day. Not between people but between people and nature. Each giant net is lowered into the deep sea. And then, in just a few minutes, tons of fish are pulled up to the deck, creating an incredibly spectacular scene. You are about to witness industrial-scale fishing, harsh, eye-catching, and challenging. In the quiet night, only the sound of waves and the rumbling of the ship's engine echoed across the ocean. Slowly, the heavy net was pulled up, weighed down by the weight of thousands of sea creatures inside. The fishermen watched each pull carefully, and then the moment arrived. When the net was opened, among the small fish was a giant creature, a whale shark, the symbol of the ocean, gentle, huge, but now motionless in the middle of the deck. That moment made everyone speechless, a reminder that the ocean is not only a source of life, but also a place that needs to be preserved, because every marine creature, big or small, has its role in this vast ecosystem. After a moment of confusion and discussion, the fishermen came to a respectful decision. Although the economic value may be great, life is still more important. Under the dim light of the night sea, they slowly tied the rope, carefully bringing the fish back to the ocean. With a gentle cut, the rope was released, and the giant fish slowly sank to the bottom of the sea. Freedom back to the world where it belongs. After a night of drifting on the water, the dawn broke, marking the start of a new fishing trip. No need for a signal. Everyone got into position, simultaneously pulling, holding, stretching, releasing. Every movement was practiced, like a harmonious dance between people. The giant net gradually rose from the water, heavy in the midst of the rolling water. And then, the reward of a whole day's work appeared before our eyes. The giant net opened, tons of fresh fish fell onto the deck like a silver rain. Red fish, yellow fish, striped fish, mackerel, of all sizes and colors, creating a vivid picture of the ocean in the middle of the ship. Cheers rang out, sweat and smiles. This was the moment that every fisherman had been waiting for, the moment to prove that their efforts were not in vain. A full net, like a sweet promise from the sea. The net was getting heavier and heavier. The lines were pulled tight, taut like strings. The whole team of fishermen leaned over, pulling with all their might, bit by bit, because they knew that below, a large catch of fish was slowly rising. The water surface rolled, white foam splashed, and then each silver scale, each fish shadow began to appear in the dark blue water. This was the most stressful stage. Just one mistake, the net could tear, the fish could escape. But no, the perfect coordination between people, between machines and human strength made it impossible for the ocean to refuse them this time. And here is the result after hours of struggling with the storms: a hold full of fresh fish. Wave after wave crashed against the side of the ship. White foam splashed up as if cheering, signaling a big catch was about to be brought up. Fishermen stood on both sides. Each rope was tightened, each jerk was decisive. All were directed towards the goal, to bring the spoils safely to the deck. In that moment, no one thought of fatigue. There was only a strong belief that the sea would not disappoint. Under the clear blue water, a school of tuna is struggling fiercely inside the narrow net compartment. Waves splash, fins flap, and cheers are heard, creating a chaotic yet exciting scene. Fishermen take advantage of every second, every minute, using nets and hooks to pull each large fish weighing tens of kilograms out of the water. It's not easy. Every time I scoop up a fish, it's a tug of war between man and fish, between man's strength and the strength of the sea. But this is when true courage and skill come into play. Every action, every throw of the net carries the precision of someone who has spent his whole life at sea. With the men having done the heavy lifting, it was time for the machines to take over. The hydraulic winch worked relentlessly, reeling meter after meter of the thick net back onto the ship, carrying the fruits of hours spent at sea. Below, the net began to unfurl. Thousands of bright red shrimps rolled like a waterfall, pouring into the waiting cold storage. Fishermen stand guard at the mouth of the tunnel, checking their nets, making sure they don't miss any creatures. Every movement is precise and rhythmic, like a fishing line that has been honed over hundreds of trips. When the sea surface is as calm as a giant mirror, the fins suddenly rise, disturbing all the peace. A pod of dolphins swims past the ship like a greeting from the wild friends of the ocean. They are not afraid of humans, and humans do not scare them. It is rare in the hustle and bustle of the sea. There are still such sacred moments of harmony. The light shone straight down on the deck where a fierce struggle was taking place. A large fish was caught in the net, struggling, flipping over, flapping its fins, forcing the whole group to use their collective strength. Each person had a position, pulling the net, holding the rope, observing. Everyone understood, just one moment of carelessness, the fish could escape. The shouts echoed loudly in the darkness, mixed with the sound of heavy breathing and the sound of feet sliding on the coal, with deck creating a scene that was no different from a real battle. And then the fish finally gave in, lying still in the net. Once again, humans had won the challenge from the ocean. After the tense moments on deck, it's time to move on to the preservation phase. The big fish is handled carefully, with gloves on, each move precise, no rush, no complacency. The freezer lid was opened, and each fresh fish was gently dropped onto a meter-deep layer of ice. Against the backdrop of clear blue skies and a sea sparkling with sunlight, the journey continues with eyes gazing far into the horizon. The men silently search for signs of fish using only their experience and intuition from years of being attached to the sea. No GPS, no modern radar, just eyes, nets and faith. When the time comes, the net is lowered again gently but firmly, drifting with the waves and secured with each prominent yellow buoy. The sea is beautiful and peaceful today, but beneath the surface of the water, is there another treasure hidden? The net continued to be released evenly, meter by meter, layer by layer, drifting along the current. The colorful buoys marked the wide net like a giant trap set in the middle of the ocean. And just a few minutes later, the sea surface began to stir. The first silver streaks appeared, a clear signal the fish had entered the net. The team changed direction from dropping to pulling. Calloused hands, bright smiles, and crisp words echoed across the ocean. Each stroke of the net pulled up not just fish, but joy, achievement, proof of the collective ingenuity and perseverance. And finally, the result was clear. The deck was filled with fish, silver scales glistening in the sunlight, their bodies slapping against the net, like a resounding cheer from the ocean. No one said much, just smiles, glances, and silent pats on the back. They understood all the hard work, sweat, sleepless nights, and net casting had now paid off. This was not just a big catch, it was a symbol of perseverance, solidarity, and the sacred relationship between humans and the ocean. Amidst the bright sunlight and the vast sea and sky, there is a deck full of fish and laughter. Hands quickly remove fish from the net, while each wave gently laps against the side of the boat as if wanting to join in the fun. It is not just work, this is art, an art of living in harmony with the ocean, reading every current, every movement of the fish. Each fish caught is not only a product, but also a joy, a meal, and the future of an entire family in a remote fishing village. And perhaps, it is these simple moments that are truly the greatest profit that the sea brings to humans. Thank you for accompanying us through every catch, every wave, and every sweaty moment, and every smile. If you love the sea, honest work, and everyday images like this, please leave a like, comment your feelings below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next journeys.